Well, would you believe, 24 years ago almost. How can I forget it? I can't. That's what we used to change over the back of my shoulder here now. It's a scoreboard. England made to follow on, the Australians in command. New captain, Mike Brearley. I'd had to resign. Resign just before they probably axed me. Bob Willis, the hero of the afternoon, the final afternoon. 8 for 43, steaming down the hill here at Headingley. He didn't even start. He had a chest infection. Well, the people that took a big part, Graham Dilley, well, he looked like Graham Pollock out there with the bat. The great catch that he took down in this bottom corner off Bob Willis when Rod Marsh top-edged the hook. Mike Gatting coming in from mid-on over had almost turned the game again back Australia's way. But Bob Willis, what a hero. We got the runs, but we only had 130 to play with. Bob Willis down that hill. The Australians, just about there the balcony would have been before, sat there anticipating a win, bought all the champagne, had it in the ice, waiting. It wasn't to be. England won. We then had to go and negotiate with the Australians to sell us the champagne. There was none left on the ground. 500 to 1. It came up on the scoreboard over there. Who would believe it? 24 years ago now, on that final morning. I've met at least 750,000 who were here. It's gone down, but let me tell you, there's a man called RGD Willis, 8 for 43, and Graham Dilley had major parts in what was one of the great performances by England. To come back after being made to follow on by a side as strong as Australia, that doesn't happen very often. Sit back and enjoy it.
Day's play. A day that began with Kim Hughes and the Australian side 1-0 up in the series. A great victory at Trent Bridge to toss and exchange teams. This is what they showed one another. England, there are 11 players without a spinner. Embury left out of the side and the list as batsman and off-spin bowler. Australia at the bottom and Ray Bright, who bowled very well earlier, won the toss. Here's the third ball of the first over. It's Willis on the board. With me in the commentary box is Ted Dexter. And first touch for Mike Brearley. Experienced though he is, that'll remove one or two of the butterflies. Always nice to get your hand on the ball early on in attack. Graham Dilley at deep fine leg. Shot. Follow that and did so quite nicely. 4 more to Graham Wood. Well, he doesn't muck around, this fellow, the early part of the Australian innings.
Yes, he's put the bat on this one very nicely, didn't really get his foot there.
Chris Holt now to bowl to Graham Wood. The first ball Wood has faced from Holt. No real chance for Geoffrey Boycott, instead of stopping as it neared the boundary.
But at least 2 in that. And Willis, although he seemed to labour after it a little bit, his throw was a good strong one. But Freddie won't get them with balls like that. It really was a gift, and Wood making no mistake. Lovely open space, that extra cover. Just in time to change his mind about playing at that one.
Well, he's tried to take the bat away, but he's actually played it off the face down. And a really snappy piece of fielding by Ian Botham.
And that could go all the way. Dyson's first 4 with nearly an hour's play completed. And there it is, the 50 up. And with this fast outfield. Inside edge, just in front of Taylor and 4 runs.
And it really doesn't look like being Chris Holt's day. Good delivery, nips for stumps.
And he's gone, and Ian Botham has done it. 3rd ball. And the old magic returns, with a bit of help, I think one must say, from the pitch, because it did appear to keep rather low. But what a start, and what a morale, and for England as a whole. 55 for 1 then. And remember, Chappell was up the ball he was trying to leave, and he wasn't so far off.
And that's far too...
Graham Wood in the one-day international up here got hit by a nasty delivery of that type from Mike Hendrick. Always put him down. Gower at 3rd slip. 1. He got both hands to it. It was to the left, to the more awkward.
Mike Brearley, some 3.5, 4 yards away. Beautifully timed, and that'll beat Boycott. There's a good stroke from Dyson.
Thinking about a square cut here, but he doesn't really pick the bat up enough to go for that shot. Perhaps he does when he's really in and flowing, but not at the moment.
That outfield is so fast down here at our end of the ground that there's no chance of any of those close-in catches cutting it off. Just a little gentle. 41 Dyson, 7 Chappell. And after that drop catch, just 6 more runs added up to the tee interval to take the score along to 97 for Chappell. We pick up play now in the first over after tea, 2 runs added. It's Bob Willis coming into bowl to Trevor Chappell, and Ted Dexter and Chris Martin-Jenkins who are in the commentary box.
So the 100 coming up for Australia in the 43rd over. And the scoreboard a little slow to react. They're going for it again, they've got it, and there is John Dyson's 50, and that is a great moment for this young man from New South Wales, not so very young, 27 years of age, since his very first test innings against India at Perth in 77-78. Yes, that's going to be 4 runs. And that is John Dyson's highest score in test. And with each passing delivery, this looks a more valuable innings. 7 o'clock, with the extra hour being played, which would mean that we would only have lost 3/4 of an hour altogether. Pitching too short and following on the freest shot that Dyson has played. Chappell.
Short and outside the off stump, and only coming in John Dyson.
Oh, I don't believe it, but it's happened. Ardent to his left, it was only a half chance.
It was beautifully timed by John Dyson, hit it right in the middle, and I think it was almost self-protection there for Ian Botham. He did very, very well to...
That's a fine shot. Graham Dilley doing a lily. With the autograph books on the boundary. He's down a deep fine leg. Good top spinner, and he picked it well. Smashed it in great style past square leg. Really just pitching a partnership, and the one between Wood and Dyson will be seen to be quite priceless to Australia. I just have the feeling that two of the Australian bowlers, at least Lillee and Lawson, that's safely away, too short from Willie. No real chance of being caught except by the keeper there. Quite a safe stroke. So there's an easy 3 there. He's always going to stop just inside the boundary. Ian Botham, the fielder. Good shot. That's the shot of the day as far as Dyson's concerned. A glorious stroke. Perfect placement. The ball itself wasn't all that bad, perhaps a fraction short. Oh, he's gone. Caught behind. Trevor Chappell out, caught Taylor bowled Willie, and spin takes the second wicket. 149 for 2. An excellent partnership to 149. Boycott doing the chasing. 3 there quite easily, but Dyson quick to come back. Up comes the 150. It's not what all the applause is for. The applause was for Geoffrey Boycott's.
And there it is, off the edge. John Dyson has reached his first Test 100 in his 12th Test match, having never before made more than 53 in a Test innings. Marvellous moment for him. And more than that, a vital innings for Australia.
Oh, he's done him. John Dyson has gone just in the last 20 minutes. A little loosener from Graham Dilley there. He really wasn't putting anything into it at all. And Dyson, as he has done a couple of times on this tour, was hitting it away through mid-wickets. Brings up the 200 for Australia. And just 3 more runs to take the total on to 203 for 3 at the close, with Bright, the night watchman, 1 not out. A frustrating day for the England bowlers. Only 3 successes there. Dilley, Botham and Willie. Willis and Auld. I thought Chris Auld bowled extremely well all day without any luck, but certainly it was a most frustrating day.
That's in the air, but safe, and it may beat Boycott. Hit very hard by Kim Hughes. It didn't seem to take an awful lot of trouble to hit the ball down, but there was a big gap between third slip and gully. it up. Yeah, and that got what it deserved, I'm afraid. A fine shot by Ray Bright.
.33 to Hughes, 7 to Bright, 2:20 for 3. The second new ball. Last man out yesterday evening. Oh, well bowled. Not often and he's had the pleasure of giving the crowd another little signal. But you've got to be a very good bowler to be able to do that to the crowd. They generally have the last word. Ray Bright has gone, bowled Dilley for 7, it's 220 for 4.
Very good delivery this, swinging a little bit away. And very, very Graham Dilley following through and giving the crowd the old hi-ho. And I don't think he's really entitled to do that.
There's 3 good deliveries from Dilley to Yallop. Very well timed. It went in the air, but would have been a remarkable catch for Gower had he been able to dive away to his right and get the hand to it. But it was beautifully timed by Kim Hughes. Very good shot, way through mid-wicket. That outfield is still quick despite the rain. Quick enough for Hughes to pick up 3. Field setting there, David Gower is the man away at cover point. It's well bowled. That could have gone anywhere, and in fact Hughes managed to keep it out of the clutch of the 3 slips in the gully.
And this one really took off. Fairly short, but it really climbed very, very high. And Kim Hughes...
Oh, that's a fine ball.
Bob Willis has made 1 or 2. A terrific delivery.
Well, it must have been close. He shuffled across. Whether it had pitched outside, perhaps the playback will reveal.
The benefit of the doubt playing forward, possibly going...
Half volley, almost full toss in fact, but he waited for it to bounce and just eased it away on the half volley. No one down there. 4 runs, thank you very much. Oh dear, Willis is having no luck. Yallop has generally made a rather more confident looking start than he has at other times in this series. 11 to him now, bringing up the 250 in the 17th over with the new ball.
What a fine shot. Head down, perfectly still, belted it through the covers. And that's his 50. Hughes.
it looked like 4 runs, just as well for England that Peter Willey was in the path of it. He really got hold of that, Kim Hughes.
Well, a real rank short one here, square cut, which it got, but he hit it straight at Peter Willey, whose fingers he's stung. He really was going like a rocket. That tells it all.
Dilley only had 2 slips. There are now 3 slips up. Beautifully tucked away by Hughes. Willis is after it. He didn't quite time it as well as it had appeared at first, and Willis has cut it off, almost cut his foot off on the rim. And that's going to be 4 runs. It was in the air. And poor Criseld just... Willey after it and just gets them. Three more to Graham Yallop. That's... oh no! Graham. Far to go down for England. And Gooch seemed to see it all the way. And then he had another chance.
He's finding the outside edge quite regularly, Criseld. 7 Hughes, 29 Yallop. Good shot. Bob Willis is the man, third man.
First bounce into the crowd at mid-wicket. Oh, he could be out, both of them underneath, he's caught it, and that's the end of Kim Hughes' innings. A leading edge, he was looking to turn it on the onside somewhere wide of mid-on, and both of them swinging it as indeed he could hardly have got it. So Hughes... Oh, and that wasn't such a good delivery, and Yallop put it away very well to get his 50. A thoroughly worthy innings. And that's a good way to open your account. Lovely, satisfying off drive by Alan Border. And there's Dennis Lillee, looking forward to the opportunity to bowl.
Very well fielded by both of them, and he's done himself no good at all there. He had to do it, it had to be thrown because there's a situation like that.
And here it is, and there was a great mix-up in the calling here. Stop. There's no doubt that if Ian... but it certainly hurt him.
And double now, signing a few thousand autographs. It's not far away. And Botham once again swinging that ball into the left-hander. He was beaten by the swing. After injuring that arm once again. Must be gone. Botham has struck again. 58 to Yallop. Australia now 357. Couldn't get anything more faint, in fact. For 58, Rodney Marsh. That's well hit. And really, Chris Auld had no chance of picking that up. It was a brave effort to go for it.
Well, Rodney Marsh special, that one.
Flurry of activity amongst spectators. Oh, beautiful stroke, completely effortless. Oh, Taylor, out. Botham gets his first 5-wicket haul since the game before he took over as captain. And that was the game too in which Bob Taylor, 40 years old today, broke the world record for test victims. So the partnership working wonders again. And Geoff Lawson, the 8th man out, having made a very useful 13 and held England up for a further 3/4 of an hour.
Up comes 400 for Australia. And that's a very good effort in this third. On him. Botham picks up another one. Marsh gone for 28. Australia 401 for 9. And is it worth 10 minutes at the England batsman?
Well, another nice big swinger right up in the block hole there, and nice leg stump Yorker, which
and in fact Wiser for 9, Hughes himself making 89, Yallop 58, and Marsh hit strongly for 28. The England bowlers, I thought Bob Willis struggled a little bit today. No wicket for 72. Chris Auld, none for 91, was unlucky, and Graham Dilley picked up 2 wickets without ever really having his line as he would have wanted it. Ian Botham, 6 for 95, 39.2 overs and 11 maidens. He was the star of the show, and I thought did very, very well today. Showed a lot of courage with that arm injury, and Peter Willey bowled just the 2 overs early in the day and then wasn't asked to come in again. Added to that 7 for no wicket that Gooch and Boycott had put on overnight. It's 12 for no wicket now. Alderman is coming in from the football stand end. He's going to bowl to Graham Gooch, and with me in the commentary box is Tom Graveney. Close, yes. That was a very strange shot to play first ball. He just seemed to be playing it away on the onside, and it looked to me to pitch, well, the very furthest out it could have been his middle and leg. Doing fielding. Touch of relief in the applause there. Local hero. Nesborough, great supporters of Sir Geoffrey Boycott. He's off the mark. Ray Bright doing the fielding.
Oh, well bowled.
difficult thing to know is just, well, that one went straight through the gate. Actually, that didn't beat him outside; it beat him inside the bat. Just missed the off stump. I think Mike Brearley must have been waiting for the death rattle there, because that's the one that does get you out when it goes through there.
and he's out, caught behind the one that went the other way, and just a little Nimarsh doing the rest. So England's captain, second wicket. England are 40 for 2. All nice, solid stroke to get off the mark.
Possibility, of course, is that Geoff Lawson, having seen the England bowlers spraying it about, might take it into his head to actually bowl at the wicket and let the pitch actually do the damage for him.
And he has done exactly that. Geoff Boycott, who's shown signs of being a little discomfited by Lawson's extra pace, falls to him again. And a picture of first over of the morning, and a vital blow to have struck, and England, with the follow-on figure at 202, are in a bit of trouble here, to put it mildly, at 42 for 3.
Runs they're forgetting. Didn't quite time it. Trevor Chappell has the chance to cut it off, and it'll be 3. .52 to go to avoid the follow. 4 slips and 2 gullies waiting there for David Gower. And fine stroke away through mid-wicket. Shot. Safe. Well, certainly not catching. Whatever down, which is as straightforward as the one that went to Graham Gooch yesterday. Didn't even touch the hands, it hit him up on the wrist.
Well, in the air, but hit very hard indeed, and 4 to Gatting. On the slips from left to right, Dyson at 4th, Alderman at 3rd, Border at 2nd, and Wood at 1st. Is down. Very low indeed, but I think nonetheless a chance to John Dyson at 4th slip.
Yeah, I don't think any doubt about that. That definitely carried to Dyson at 1st slip, at 4th.
And a marvellous delivery that by Geoff. Catch missed off the previous delivery. He really put everything into that one. And Gower really nonplussed by it. Threw over his head. The 5th man to go, pushing forward down the line of the off stump, and he is frequently LBW Mike Gatting, and he's gone that way again.
Safely away for 4. Yeah, for about 20 yards, but he hit it very firmly. Well, just to take the initiative away from the fielding side. Batsmen are doing that. One thing you've got to keep in mind is not to do anything silly, just to try and pick the right ball. Bowled him. That's well bowled by Lawson. He's had a good spell there today. Really top-class piece of bowling and thinking there. 3 short balls and then the most perfect Yorker imaginable. 112 for 6.
there's no doubt that Geoff Lawson's been the bowler of the day.
Bob Taylor's come in as the non-striker. Ian Botham's taking strike. Same treatment. Super shot that. Little loosener from 21 to Botham. Vicious, that one. Almost unplayable. And I think Rodney Marsh might even agree.
It's a tremendous delivery. Look at that. Whoops! Bounced, left him. Just shows that if people bowl straight on here, there's a lot in the wicket to help them.
Way past square leg. 35 to Botham now. I think that must go down as a chance. It looked to me from here as though it carried the field. Just looked at...
Good delivery this. Bounce, everything there. Chance, I would think, probably pitched just in front of him.
By some young admirer down on the fence. Field will stay in for Botham now. Gives the cover, Chappell at cover point. Exactly what he wants to do. Another 44 for 6, and Botham has streaked away to 46.
Well, the ball was straight. That was a good idea to stop him scoring, but it was just over-pitched. And it's a lovely straight drive.
Long tree fast. Good shot from Bob Taylor from that loosener from Lilly. And he's gone. Rodney Marsh, that was a good catch. He made a lot of ground to that, and I just got a feeling he sensed Kim Hughes wasn't going anywhere near on his right-hand side. Taylor has gone for 5. 148 for 7 now. And there was the old combination again there. Lilly to Marsh. 25% of Marsh's victims have come from Lilly's bowling. Lilly was up there to congratulate him, because now Rodney Marsh has equalled Alan Knott's record of 263 dismissals in Test cricket. Marsh 71 Test matches, Knott 93.
Any standards, but a wonderful sight to see him hitting the ball with the same old freedom, and it really looks, since the burden of captaincy has been lifted from him, and that is, I think I'm right in saying, his first 50 since his first innings as captain at Trentbridge last year. Avoid the follow-on. Indeed, Botham in that over just losing concentration, and Rodney Marsh appropriately breaks the world. Must surely have given him more victims than any other bowler. And out, caught second slip. Thank you very much, Alan Border. Not quite in behind it. The ball just lifting and leaving him a fraction. And Alan Border making no mistake, so it looks as though Australia are going to make England follow on. And that'll be 4 off the amount they need. Unorthodox but highly effective. Graham Dilley, who's caused Australia quite a few problems with the willow already in this series. Oh, and that Lilly takes his 4th wicket on his 32nd birthday. It's a rather strange final dismissal. Dilley perhaps changing his mind in the middle of his shot.
That's a dismal sight for England supporters. Just the one saving grace there, that splendid innings from Ian Bote before he fell to the combination of Marsh and Lilly, the one that served Australia so well over the years. And what a great moment for Rodney Marsh there. He and Lilly have been 2 great cricketers for Australia, fitting that between them they should give Marsh the record of 264 victims to go past Alan Knott. The other England batsmen, the only 2 to impress at all, were Gower and Gatting, and the rest were very much under the thumb of the Australian bowlers. Only 3 of them used, just another indication that you only need 3 quicks, you don't need 4 in a side. Dennis Lilly, 4 for 49, had the best figures in the end, but it wasn't one of Dennis's best days. He was a bit front on in action, and his line and length weren't all that he'd desire. Terry Alderman, 3 for 59, a little bit of rough treatment at Botham's hands, and Lawson, I thought, was the outstanding bowler, 3 for 32 in 13 overs and 3 maidens. So, despite Botham's splendid innings, England failed to save the follow-on by just 28 runs, and quite rightly, Kim Hughes asked them. First ball, Dennis Lilly is the bowler, Graham Gooch has taken strike, here's Tom Graveney and Chris Martin-Jenkins.
Lilly, who took 4 wickets in the first innings, bowled terribly well in his opening spell, but he now has 266 Test wickets, and that equals Bishan Bedi's haul of Test wickets. He's only the 4th highest wicket taker in Tests now. Those 2 together are ahead of Ian Beattie. So one way and another, it's taken his 264th victim in Tests. Collector ever. And that's a catch, and a beautifully taken catch by Terry Alderman, diving to his left, and Graham Gooch is out. And Australia have struck in their first innings of Gooch's bat, and Alderman taking an absolute perler of a slip catch, much the best slip catch that has been taken in this game so far. Very well timed stroke, and 4 runs. Awkward one for Lilly, but it was well timed. A satisfying start for the England captain, and that's found a gap as well. There'll only 1 this time. Lawson coming round. Into the same gap, a bit closer to Lawson. Caxtell Lane end. That's a good shot. Long chase back for Hughes, but it's going to be a vain one. And Mike Braley has been easy as you like. Thank you very much to Terry Alderman at 3rd slip, and the first victim of the morning for Dennis Lilly.
And an excellent delivery, this, pitched on the off stump. He had to play at it, and it just left him off the seam and made that catch look.
Oh, straight through him. Almost looks as though he didn't see that one.
Now it's off the mark. Safely away for 4.
Pretty wide delivery this from Dennis Lillee. And really, if England are going to have any chance, they've got to cash in on the bad ball.
Chasing and throwing there from Trevor Chappell, and a fine shot from David Gower. That was very well bowled, but my word, it did cut a long way off the seam. Elkin, that must have pitched around about middle and leg and finished up outside off stump. David Gower has gone for 9, 37 for 3. Alderman. I'm not too sure there was very much Gower could have done about that. He's gone in 37 minutes. Graham Yallop doing the field, and Gatting turned blind there. I don't know if he really intended to go for the second, but he had his back to Yallop when he was turning at the non-striker's end. Not much Geoffrey Boycott could do about that. It's got up from a good length and hit him on the hand. That's close, yes. I'm afraid he has to go. LBW again. Second time in the match, Mike Gatting, and Alderman has struck.
Going down the leg side. In line with the leg stump. That's usually quite a good guide.
And Boycott goes to 18. He's off the mark, but for one instant he must have wondered where it was going.
Showing that he can attack as well when the opportunity arises. It won't go for 4. Chappell catching up with it just inside the long off boundary. And just... No, he's coming back for the second. Despite a good return from Lillee. Lawson, I think, trying to repeat the Yorker which he produced for Willey in the first innings, but Peter Willey digging that one out successfully.
Just 2 runs added to take that total up to 78 for 4 at lunch. A desperate session for England that. They lost the 3 wickets before lunch. The Australians, Lillee and Alderman, each 2 wickets and very, very much on top. A fine defensive knock that from Geoffrey Boycott. 35 not out, 32 overs bowled at that stage, and 2 slightly edgy ones to go on to 12. 149 runs to avoid. 4 runs, very fine glance. The shout came from Lillee, who thought the ball had got through Willey's defence. Safely away for 4. Similar to the stroke with which Willey got off the mark when he... Shot. It's gone like a rocket. Great shot. This pair doing the right thing by their skipper, Mike Brealey, who's there with Rodney Hogg. Rodney Hogg, his fitness test at Lord's, which will have delighted everyone. We should take the short single, but I suspect Boycott had just made it. Would have only been an inch or two in it. In the air, that one, but still a beautiful stroke from Peter Willey to bring up the 100 for England, 31. Beautifully placed. Now that is really good thinking. A magnificent piece of bowling. And Peter Willey is tactical thinking I've seen in a long time.
Very, very tremendous, because it climbed that little bit higher and got Peter Willey a little bit tucked up, and he really only third man there. But very, very fine performance by the Australian side there.
And what the greatest ever wicket taker in the history of Anglo-Australian tests. Goes past Huey Trumble's record of 141.
It would be if he could still be batting at 6 o'clock this evening. Alderman pitching up again, inviting him to drive, and Ian Botham needs no second invitation. Beautifully timed. It was backward a square, but it's 4 runs nonetheless. And that's there's a big gap there. Should be 2. Still a bit of a problem with these flying papers. And he's gone, and a very reluctant lever of the crease. Alderman getting the vital breakthrough for Australia when it seemed that Boycott just simply couldn't be penetrated. And he does not look very happy with that, but that's partly, I'm sure, because he's not put a foot wrong and really never looked like LBW for 46 after 200 defence. So Bob Taylor off the mark. A soft dismissal, but very well bowled. The man placed there for it, and Ray Bright making no mistake, a simple catch, lifting a bit, and Bob Taylor, sometimes inclined to pop the ball up in that area, become rather disappointed with himself.
Here's Alderman. Smashed away to the left hand of cover. Well, that's bad luck to it. Overthrows. Go for 4. And despite that brave piece of hitting by Graham Dilley, 25 not out, and Ian Botham, who was almost being outscored by Dilley, he'd made 39 not out at the tea interval. It was around the ground that the 76 for 7, and the match situation, runs still needed to avoid an innings defeat, and even though Botham and Dilley were going so well, only 3 wickets in hand.
And oh, what a splendid shot. Very wide, very well pitched up, and Graham Dilley continuing his successful policy before tea. Oh, beautiful shot. And round the wicket or over the wicket, they're coming all alike to Graham Dilley at the moment, and that
from the last over.
Of that, his first Test match at Perth, and batted for a long time in both innings, and particularly in the second innings in a losing cause, not dissimilar to this one. Although on that occasion he batted defensively for a long. And he brings up the 200, at least putting up a fight here. And not quite where he entered his second 50 of the match, and that broad smile conveying the old sense of enjoyment. And a bit of a risky blow that, but he's got away with it.
This one somewhere near the splice, but he's such a powerful man, and it carried.
Oh, now it's 4 needed. He's really having a lovely time, and so
Good Sunday League shot, this.
absolute thoroughbred stroke.
A little while ago, this is a perfect shot. He stays where he is, he doesn't pull that front leg away, and he hits it right in the middle, and England go into the lead.
And that'll be 4 more. And there is, in just 70 minutes, which have, if they haven't turned the match upside down, they've certainly turned the character of the match upside down. Lovely way for Graham Dilley to get his maiden. It's really been a splendid innings.
It was good cricket, very good running. Cards once Alderman decided that would be his angle of attack. Splendid knock that was from Graham Dilley. And that gives Alderman his 5th wicket. they're looking for that, let alone chasing it. It's going straight into the confectionery stall and out again. A beautiful hit.
What a wonderful follow-through.
Safely away for 4. That's a splendid 100. A great innings by Ian Botham. 50 in the first innings, a century in the second, and 6 wickets from his teammates, all of whom have gathered. And Mike Brearley is just giving him the word to stick around. Safe and 4. Unorthodox. And up comes the 300 now.
And he's through. Oh, 25th 4. And that is Ian Botham's highest test score.
351 for 9, and what a change in the match situation now. Marvellous performance by Dilley and Old to stick around there with Botham. Botham held the stage all 124 runs. Here's the first ball. He's now coming in to bowl to Graham Wood, and in the commentary box is Tom Graveney with me. It's a good shot for 4. It'll get onto those practice pitches and really race away. Well, he doesn't intend to muck around, Graham Wood. Well, I don't think Wood is very keen on that, and I suspect from the way both of them shouted, and we'll just have to have a look and see what happened with the wicketkeeper and the slips. Bowled Botham, Wood out for 10. That's a good shot for 4. Very little back left there from John Dyson taking strike. Shot. Eight for 1 Australia, 82 to win. And 356 in the second innings, both them 149 not out. Peter Willey bowling to Chappell. Half century up for Australia. 2 there from Chappell's bat. Takes him on to 8. It's well bowled. In the end, very well steered away for 4. Delivery, he's gone. And there's not much that could be done about that. Trevor Chappell really has... Trevor Chappell caught Taylor bowled Willis for 8, and Dyson is 29 not out. Well bowled and well played. Kept that down very well. A good over from Bob Willis.
Well, very, very similar to the ball that got Greg Chappell out, perhaps fractionally more offside, and Hughes did very well to handle that one.
Botham runs, wickets and catches, and the Australian captain goes for naught. Caught Botham, bowled Willis. Hughes is gone, and it's 58. Oh, good catch. Super catch that. Marvellous reflex action there. Yallop has gone without scoring. 58 for 4 with Dyson 29 not out. What a marvellous catch and what a great session for England. Absolute misery for Australia there. 58 for 4 and what joy for England. 3 to Willis, 2 of them in that last over and both of them picking up the other one when he got Graham Wood for 10. John Dyson hanging in there for 29 not out in hand, and they still needed 72 to win. 58 for 4 they were. Willis is coming in now to bowl to John Dyson, and in the commentary...
4 runs. Heartening stroke for Australia. Oh, and unlucky.
Where do you go from here? Twice and an over. He really has bowled 2 magnificent deliveries.
He's gone. Played on. Chris Hill gets his first wicket of the match at an absolutely vital time, and what a crucial wicket too. Alan Border, such a stalwart of this Australian batting side. 65 for 5, 65 needed, 5 wickets to fall. But he didn't know a great deal about it. Off the glove. He's got a touch on it, he's gone. Going for the hook which he played so well in the previous over, but Bob Willis's extra pace getting him, and look at that look at Sir England fielders. Willis's 4th wicket. Well played and off the mark.
Fred Bennett would have thought that perhaps the next batsman in might be out there getting used to the light.
56 to win. Willis to Marsh. In the air, Dilly is underneath it, and he's caught it! A very, very good catch indeed, and with another foot and he would have been over the boundary. Willis has taken his 5th wicket. And England are holding their catches just at the time when they need to. 74. Lawson out for 1, and England on the brink of an absolutely sensational victory, which is going to go. A little before this time yesterday, English cricket was being buried. That is, he's a most canny cricketer, Dennis Lilly. That was extremely clever thinking on his part. Quite deliberate uppercut.
Astonishing shot. He definitely gave it a lift.
Shall soon know. No, it was not. Gatting thought it was, to rub a part well away from the wrist.
The tactics on both sides are right, that these two have got to play as many strokes as they can. And England must keep the ball. Oh, that's a good shot. That was very well picked up by Bright. It didn't get up all that much, and I don't think it was all that short either.
And Chris Holt dragging this one down a little, and Ray Bright onto it like a
Didn't quite get that, I don't think. But he got it well enough to bang it into the fence. It's square. And again, I don't think it... 100 for 8, 17 now to Bright. And 9. The outside edge. Boycott doing the fielding. Yes, with that previous ball, I was doing Chris Holt a bit of an injustice when I said it was probably pitching around middle and leg, because it started off on off stump. A little bit of pressure is back on the England bowlers. What do this Australian pair? Do they keep on playing their shots, which has been successful so far? The score is 75. There's 27 been added. It just couldn't have been placed better by Dennis Lillee. You wouldn't believe that the ball could get between Chris Holt and Graham Dilley down there on the boundary. That's a good shot. The outfield is so quick, Dilley will be struggling to get that. And again, just beating the fielder by 2 yards. Now, picked him up wickets early on. Lillee is 17, Bright 19. Oh, what a good catch. Couldn't pick it up in the background, then got it, and it needed a dive forward to take a great catch. 110 for 9, and the first one Willis got up into Lillee's half, produced the wicket. Lillee out for 17, caught Gatting, bowled Willis. He's got him. Oh no, he's put him down. Chris Holt. Third slip.
Certainly appeared to carry this one, and Chris seemed to have it absolutely under control.
That carried as well. It's just as well as not Keith Fletcher. Bowl him. It's all over, and it is one of the most fantastic victories ever known in Test cricket history. Bob Willis, England have won this match after one of the most astonishing fightbacks you could ever see. And what a remarkable scorecard that is. 111. England regard that as the devil's number. Well, there was no devil's number about it today. Australia beaten and England winning by 18 runs. Only John Dyson, 34, Wood 10, Bright 19 and Lillee 17 reaching double figures. And the men who made it all possible for England, a really sensational performance. 8 for 43. It's his best ever Test match performance, Bob Willis. And I don't think I've ever seen him bowl better. He bowled like a man inspired out there today. It was almost as though he was in another world.
It was no great wicket to bat on, and thanks to Ian's magnificent contribution, things went well for us during the period just before lunch, and managed to get the breakthrough.
Who was the one that you bowled and got Kim Hughes and Graham?
I told Mike I was a bit too old to be bowling into the wind, so I better bowl the other end.
I checked out of the hotel yesterday morning, and perhaps that's the secret. I don't know.
Well, maybe I can get you to talk about the bowling of your colleague Bob Willis.
Yeah. It was tremendous, absolutely magnificent piece of bowling, and it was great to see Bob come back and prove all his critics wrong this winter when they wrote him off.
You said, well, if we can get another 50, it might be interesting. And in fact, you got another 4 or 5, didn't you?
Well, that made it even more interesting.
So what was the mood of the England team when you went out and you knew you only had 130 runs to play with?
We knew the wicket's been a little bit. We felt that if we could get an early breakthrough, anything could happen quite steadily, and then Bob bowled that over, those 3 wickets just before lunch, and it was that was the turning point, really.
This game has to go down in just a handful of really great Test matches I've seen as a player and a commentator in the excitement over the 5 days. Spare a quick thought for the Australians, Lillee and Marsh and Hughes and Dyson, who did so well during the game. For the England players, Willis, his 8 wickets today, an astonishing performance that, and both are men of the match. And a particular thought for England captain Mike Brearley, who was really looking down the barrel at one stage in this his comeback match as captain of the England side, and finished up becoming only the 2nd skipper in the history of the game to win a Test match.